I'm Katie, your homegirl in title, and each week I sit down with incredible female real estate agents and lenders to talk about how they're building businesses, balancing life, and their secrets to success. So without further ado, let's dive in. Hey y'all, welcome to another episode of your Homegirl podcast. Today's episode is all about the ladies in real estate that feel overwhelmed, don't know how to manage their schedules, setting boundaries with their clients, being rooted in faith, and all the things that make you feel good in this business. I have Mackenzie Shelton here, who is a wife, mother, homesteader, blogger, and author passionate about building a life rooted in faith, family, and purpose. She's created a path that allows her to prioritize motherhood while growing a business with intention. Through her work and content, Mackenzie shares the realities of balancing home life and entrepreneurship, encouraging women to build a life that feels aligned, meaningful, and sustainable. So, super excited to dive into this with you today, Mackenzie. Thanks for joining.
Thank you. Thanks so much for having me.
Of course. Well, why don't you start with how you even got into the business in the first place and how long you've been in real estate?
So I have been licensed for almost 12 years. I've had a team for almost 7. And the kind of overarching theme of my life the last couple years has been growing and sustaining my team, and then kind of shifting into other things, other interests that I have, and wanting to kind of add more value, not only to real estate agents, but to mothers and other business owners. And so that's kind of why I've been blogging and started a podcast and am now working on writing a book that will hopefully be published here in like the next month or so. So
That is so exciting. What made you want to write a book? What is the book even going to focus on?
yeah, so the book is actually kind of a little bit on what we were talking about. So, parenthood burnout and living with anxiety because we're just trying to be perfect all the time, a perfect mother, a perfect wife, a perfect business owner, all of those kind of things wrapped up into one. And it just has a lot of practical tips that are rooted in faith and kind of our faith journey, and how we can live a more peaceful and purposeful life without being stressed out all the time. So the book is kind of rooted in the fact that like this was what I needed 10 plus years ago as a young mom, and trying to kind of figure out this journey of like running a business and being a mother, and I kind of burnt myself out. So it's the book that I really needed as a parent 10 years ago. And so I'm just kind of hoping to pass on all of the things that I kind of had to learn the hard way for the next generation. So, yeah.
Yeah. What was like your turning point that you felt like, okay, now I've got it figured out, or at least more figured out? Maybe we don't ever completely have it figured out, but
No. Actually, you want to know what's funny? This morning, my husband and we both are self-employed. He's actually a home inspector, and I run a real estate team. And so our lives, unfortunately, like we both kind of get busy at the same time because of the industry that we're in. And he
yeah.
has a ton of home inspections this week, and he kind of got one scheduled relatively last minute, and it was really impeding on what were we going to do this evening? Because I was supposed to be going to a real estate event this evening, and our son has a baseball game, and he was having to do a home. We live in kind of a lot of rural communities in our area. And so he was having to do a home inspection that was very far away from where the game is, where we live, all these things. And he's like doing mental gymnastics this morning because originally he was going to be in charge of like getting to the game, and I was going to miss the game, and all these things. And I realized, kind of where he was at, and he was kind of stressing out about how to get from point A to point B and back and all of the things. And I was like, I am not, I don't need to go to this event. Like I wanted to go. It wasn't like a have to sort of thing. And I was like,
Yeah.
I'm not living in alignment with all the things that like I preach about, talk about, tell my team members about, tell my coaching clients about. If I go to this event tonight, I am not living in alignment with the fact that like my family needs to come before all of these other things, right?
Right.
So it's like little moments like that that have kind of added up over the last several years of like, what are my real priorities, and how can I make sure that like, yes, I'm still running a business at a high level and all of these things, but like really live with the intention of putting faith and family first, right? And so yeah, there wasn't like, I mean, yes, there were a couple like bigger moments that happened, but it's all of those little moments that kind of add up that really like just end up making you so stressed out, day after day after day. And then all of a sudden you're like about ready to blow a gasket and you're like, "Ugh, what am I doing?" It's because I'm trying to do all the things all the time and be all of the things to all the people all the time. So yeah.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. What would you say to a mom in real estate, or maybe just a woman in real estate that is like feeling super overwhelmed? What's like one piece of simple advice you would give her to like help her make things feel more manageable?
Yeah. I actually talk about this in my book. So I have lived for a really long time of figuring out what my top 3 priorities are for the day. And if I accomplish nothing else in the day, if the whole rest of the day is a giant dumpster fire, because we all know that that happens for sure in real estate. I think
Yes.
you were just living that life right before we got on here.
Yeah, about 5 minutes ago. Yep.
Yeah, yeah. So if I can just make sure to accomplish those 3 things in one day, then I had a great, successful, productive day. Sometimes those 3 things are all personal priorities. Sometimes they are business. Sometimes it's a mix of those things. But as long as I get those 3 things done, I can look at myself at the end of the day and be like, all right, today was a good day, even if the rest of it really wasn't.
Yeah. Exactly, exactly. You feel accomplished.
Yep.
So would you recommend they set those 3 items like the night before, first thing in the morning? Like what do you find works best for you?
Yeah, that's a great question. So, I would say I like to get up before the rest of my family does in the morning. There
True.
was a period of time in my life. I'm going to be honest. I don't live this life exactly anymore, but I had read The Miracle Morning, and I was listening to a lot of Ed Milet podcasts, and similar ones in that space. And I used to get up at 5 in the morning because that was from 5 to 6 was like the only kind of hour of the day that I had totally to myself where nobody was like bugging me for a million different things. My family, my clients, all my teammates, all of the things. So
Right.
I spent that hour. I would go to the gym and then I would come home and I would seriously do um my priorities for the day. And then I would do a lot of lead generation and lead follow up at that time. Not calling people. I was not calling people, but I was, texting, following up with clients, following up with leads and things like that, because I feel like you can send, and now, of course, this was several years ago. Now you can actually like schedule texts to go out at a different time and things like that. So I would say like, if you can just spend a few minutes every single morning in silence before everybody wakes up so that you can focus on what you need to do, that totally sets your day up for success, sets your week up for success, that then ultimately you feel like you have a successful month after month. So, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. There are because you do some real estate coaching for ladies in real estate, correct?
Yeah.
So there are so many of them out there as you know these days. So who do you think is like your ideal client? How would someone know like Mackenzie is the right person for me?
Oh, I love that question. I've never been asked that question. I love that. So, I would say not only for my real estate team, but also for my coaching clients, because honestly, they kind of mirror each other a little bit. I am looking for people who are driven, hardworking, coachable, teachable, and people that actually then go and implement the things that I am trying to help teach them, right? So I think a lot of it, like when I think back to my early version of myself in real estate, I was just a giant sponge, right? Like I was like, okay, like how can I just, be really focused and learn all of the things that I need to learn so that I can, get to a high level of production or be more efficient with my time, and all of those things. And although I know this class has changed kind of a lot. I used to be with KW and I did Bold back in the day when it was the Diana Kokoska version of Bold. And it's like one of those things where I've kind of taken a lot of the things that really work from that course and just kind of tried to help implement that with my coaching clients, with my team members, like that sort of thing. It's a lot of basic stuff, but here's the thing. I was actually just on a coaching call right before we got on this podcast, and the gal that I'm coaching was like, I I need you because I don't hold myself accountable, right? And
Yeah.
I think that is the reason that people either join a team or have a coach is because they're not great at holding themselves accountable. And I'm saying that as like I'm not great at holding myself accountable, right? I
Yeah.
actually have two real estate coaches for different things, and it's because we all need somebody to kind of say, "Hey, did you go do the things that you said that you were going to do this week?"
Right.
We all need that person, especially in
Right.
business. So, yeah.
Yeah. It's kind of like the double-edged sword of being an entrepreneur and having your own business. Like it's great because you get to work your own schedule. You can, make adjustments as you need to. But if you don't force yourself to do those things, there's no one at the end of the day that's going to be like, but did you? It's completely
Exactly.
cool how successful you are. So, yeah, 100% can see how valuable that is to have someone that's able to be like the force behind that to give you just some extra encouragement to want to do that. So
Yeah.
super helpful. So amazing. Well, it sounds like you are doing great things. When does the book come out again?
So, it should be in the next month. I am kind of at the last stages of getting things as far as publishing and stuff like that go. But it's really a book geared for mothers and business owners. So, if any of your listeners are kind of in that space, I will follow me on social media, and I am going to be like announcing it to the world because I want to make sure that I get it to all of the people that are really gonna find value in it. So, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. We will for sure make sure all of your social medias are tagged so people can order your book, reach out to you if they want to work with you from a coaching perspective, all the things. So, thank you so much for joining today, Mackenzie. You were so great, and I know people are going to love hearing from you. So,
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
absolutely. Thanks, y'all, for tuning into another episode. We'll see you next time. Hey y'all, if today's episode brought you value, take a second to like the video and subscribe to the channel. It really helps ladies in real estate find these conversations. And if you're ready to grow your real estate business with smoother transactions and a trusted partner in your corner, shoot me a message or follow below. I'd love to be your homegirl too.